morning, Mayor Joe Yoakum and Council President Tim Salters here Saturday morning to go over the new guidelines that the governor put out yesterday.
Yeah, we got a little bit to go through.
Right, yes. We've got, we do not have any new cases today, so we are still holding our own there. So, and then the governor came out with some new guidelines.
And then by the end of this week, we should be in the clear in the county. Now, it doesn't mean we put our vigilance down a little bit. I mean, obviously, we still continue to practice washing hands, safe social distance, and that's encouraged too in the governor's plan. But we'll get through that as we go through. There's a lot of great information here, a lot of positives. The mayor and I are excited. I mean, we're even talking about stuff and texting and calling last night. What does this mean for the city? So we've got a lot of things to go over these next couple of weeks, but we've got great guidelines ahead of us, and we'll start going over those.
Starting Monday, again, residents, if you're out, it's recommended that you wear a face mask and continue social distancing and good hygiene. But you can start having social gatherings of up to 25 people. Religious services will come back May 8th. A lot of retail and commercial opens to 50% capacity. That starts May 11th. May 11th, you can make appointments to get your hair done or your nails done.
Is somebody excited about that one?
Exactly. But those things are, you got to follow the governor's guidelines, and those are all by appointment. And again, you should be wearing face masks. It's recommended. Restaurants, May 11th, can open at 50% capacity.
That was one that I was kind of shocked about. Like I saw that one, but that's good news. It's great news for our small businesses.
But bars and nightclubs remain closed. Playground equipment, tennis courts, pickleball courts, those things will remain closed.
And I think too, like other simple things too, like in restaurants, barroom seating, that's not going to happen. And then in this stage 2 that starts on May 4th is when you start to see all these changes happening that go through May 8th and then May 11th. If you're 65 and older or you're a high risk category, the governor has encouraged that you still continue to shelter in place. Just make sure you get a hold of a family member, a neighbor, and get a hold of us here at City Hall if you need help, because obviously during this time we want to make sure that our most vulnerable populations are taken care of. But with this first stage, there's a lot to be positive about. The 25 people gathering, May 11th with the retail and the restaurants going to 50%. I think a big thing in there too is they are asking for common areas to cut back to 25% capacity. So there's a lot of things to kind of process through that. Churches, they didn't really set a number, but the key thing that has to do with churches is you need to remember to practice safe social distancing, use the space that you have available, and make sure that you get a hold of your more vulnerable populations, because you don't want them to kind of mingle in and by chance pass any kind of virus on during that time period. That's not something that we want to see. So those were some of the big key points that I saw in stage 2.
Right, and again, the main thing is to remember 65 and older, they are encouraged to continue to self-isolate and don't get out unless you need to. But this is good news.
This is great news for all of us, and especially our small businesses. They've been doing their best to keep their doors open, putting plans together. I know we had a lot of discussions with them already yesterday. And the best thing about that is they've got the plans ready to go. So once they got the guidelines, they could fit their plans into the new guidelines. And that just means that once these things and we hit these dates, we're going to be in a really good spot here in Vincennes.
Right. And another good thing is hopefully May 11th, we will start back with our public meetings, council meeting, Board of Works. Again, we probably recommend that you wear a mask. I'm sure we'll wear a mask.
Yes, we will.
And I know people are saying, why are you saying wear a mask now when you didn't before? Well, before you were supposed to be isolated at home and it's just you and your immediate family. Now that we're getting back out into public and having groups, it's probably a good recommendation to wear a mask.
Yeah, so I sent an email out to council last night saying prepare for May 11th to be an in-person council meeting, and the mayor and I would like you to wear a mask. Obviously in this setting, well, the mayor and you aren't wearing masks right now. Well, we're keeping distance between ourselves. It's just us that have been in this building, in this area. What happens when we have more people come in? Obviously, you've got the public now that would be invited to this, and then other councilmen. We do have councilmen that are over that 65 age group, and we want to make sure that they're taken care of as well. So We'll be wearing masks. It'll probably be a little odd at first, but I bet we do that better than our teleconferences.
I would bet. And again, we'll do these. I'm not going to discourage anybody from coming to council meeting, but we will FaceTime.
We'll Facebook it live
on the council page and the mayor's Facebook page. So we encourage you to maybe participate that way, so we don't get too big of a crowd in here. So
I know people are just itching to get back at those council meetings. So I mean, those are the big things for stage 2 that we're looking at. When it gets to stage 3, now stage 3, 4, 5, that's when things really start to open up, and we're really starting to work on plans with that. So when stage 3 start, Mayor?
Stage 3 will start, I believe it's May 24th.
Yep.
And that's when you'll see groups of 100.
Yep.
Retail stores will get to 75%. We'll open up playgrounds, playground equipment, and pickleball. But all of this is still with social distancing in mind.
Yeah. So the key thing that you have to constantly remember with this is still practicing those proper hygiene habits, washing your hands, safe social distancing, encourage mask wearing in public. But with this one, this is a pretty big step forward, May 24th, and that's not too far away. We're looking at gatherings of 100 with the retail and the restaurants at 75%, gyms, pools, parks, no restrictions. Which I know there's a lot of kids in town that are really excited. I know 4 little Salters kids that are really excited to get back on their Greg Park equipment.
Absolutely. But also, starting the 24th, even movie theaters can open at 50%.
Yeah, at 50%. That was a big one. That was a big one that I saw yesterday. I was like, that was a pretty interesting one for me. But hey, people like to go to summer movies.
Absolutely. So,
and then the key thing too is the 65 plus and at risk. Now they can go out at this point, and they're encouraged if they need to go out and do stuff they can, but they need to do so cautiously. So avoid big crowds at this point. Always wear the face coverings. Practice social distance. And then this once again, the mayor and I are asking if you need help, call us here at City Hall. Get a hold of us, family, friends, neighbors. We want to make sure that population is taken care of during this time period.
Right. So, and then even the 24th, it even comes down to, it says no travel restrictions. So, so as of now, we're still asked to not leave the county.
Yeah.
And unless it's essential for your job or.
But that's really suited us well, right. And it's a big reason to our success of how we've handled this in Knox County and Vincennes. So if you're essential travel, you're still going to do that, but we would encourage you to stay in county probably till around this time period of stage 3 in May 24th. Right. But like I said, more positive news for us. We're excited about it. This kind of opens up plans for us as a city. I don't think yesterday we'd be here thinking that we'd be in this spot where we're getting ready to plan these things. But the nice thing is we were prepared and ready for any plan and guidance that came out of the governor's office yesterday. So we're ready to go. That takes us to stage 4.
Stage 4 begins June 14th. And remember, up to June 14th, it is recommended that you wear a face mask if you're out in public. Starting June 14th, it is optional. That's how they have it listed. But social gatherings get up to 250 people.
Yep.
Retail stores and dining rooms get up to 75% capacity. So, and bars and nightclubs will be able to open at 50% capacity.
Yeah, and this is where I think this is a big one for people to see, like youth sports leagues can resume. Yes. So that June 14th day, that's where you see the youth sports league. Not meaning that kids can't be doing stuff before then, because you're going to see parks and pools and gyms open up. But when you think about youth sports leagues, you think about big crowds, going to games and those type of things. So that's a big point for us. Also, zoos and museums open back up at 50% at that point. So we do have a lot of zoos in Indiana, museums and things like that. So that should be good for us there. But once again, it's the process of starting to get to back to normal. And that's a good thing. Large venues open again, but the key thing with large venues would be you have to practice social distancing in these large venues. And they didn't really have a definition of what a large venue was, but I'm pretty sure if you are a large venue, you know who you are.
You're aware of your, so.
Yeah, so that put us through, and those were the key points for stage 4, and then that brings us to stage 5.
Whenever it's pretty much everything opens up.
Yeah. And I think the point too that, you know, when he's hit July 4th, I mean, that puts the state fair, right. The state fair is going to happen, which that's a big event. And the big thing, obviously, that's an interest of mine, that's when a school decision will be made when you get to stage 5. And obviously they'll probably hint at stuff that's going on moving forward with that, but amusement parks, restrictions are lifted, and that's even got us talking about what we're going to do here for our 4th of July. So,
you know, there was a point we thought there might not be a 4th of July parade, but now we can look forward to maybe having a 4th of July parade and fireworks. And again, we just went through
kind of the key points.
Yeah.
And what I'll do, I'll put the PDF of the Back on Track Indiana plan into this video so you can take a look at it too, because it's very specific, very detailed. They also released a nice little infographic today that kind of showed you the what percentage, what can be open, and we'll put that on this video too. Really simple, easy to understand. I think that was a pretty good infographic to go through. The key thing that the mayor and I want to emphasize too is we have to always be flexible with these plans. Everything is guided by data.
Exactly.
So if anything changes at the state level or the local level, these timelines, these plans, the percentages of what could happen could change because we are going to be reactive to the data that's on the ground. So we're going to be flexible. You could see pauses. You could see us, you know, kind of hold spot in the stage. We could go back a stage. The key thing, we need to be flexible. We need to be ready for anything. And hopefully we put ourselves in a very good spot that we're going to be able to go through this and get to that point where towards the end of summer, we're back to normal. Not a new normal, just normal, which is normal the new normal now? But other than that, constant vigilance, wash your hands, keep your distance. Those are the things that we're going to encourage. And moving forward, we're probably going to drop down to a video a week or 2 videos a week. Right. Just to make sure that we kind of keep everybody in the loop. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of information that comes forward and as we're moving forward, and we want to make sure that we're on top of that. But with the original emergency management group scaling back to a smaller group that they're focusing now on the reopening process, the big thing for us is we're going to make sure that we provide the information to the city and what's happening specifically here in Vincennes.
Right. And just because all this is happening does not mean that things are going to stop on that end. Dr. Stewart will continue to move forward with everything he's doing, and I can't say how much we appreciate him. Yeah. It's he has done an amazing job. The whole EMA committee has done great. So
I mean, because we're in that position because of that group, because of Dr. Stewart, because of the health department. I mean, if you look at our numbers, compared to everywhere else, we're in a really good spot. If you look at the recovered and everything, I mean, this is a great spot to be in, and the mayor and I are extremely positive of where we will be going moving forward. There's a lot to be excited about, and we're ready.
This is all contingent on if these numbers stay down, if the state stays in good shape with the numbers. So we need to continue to do our distancing, even though the groups are increased to 25 starting Monday. And recommend that you wear a mask when you're out in public if you're going to be in groups like that.
And we can't encourage you enough because you've done a great job, and if we continue to do a great job, we'll be able to go through this timeline well. And it's all up to us as citizens to be able to follow these rules and go through that. And then I would also add, if you've got a question or anything, feel free to ask us. If we don't have the answer, we'll get the answer for you, but we've got a lot of information right here. That's easily accessible, and we can go over that and kind of explain what's going on in the process behind that. But once again, a lot of optimism here.
Absolutely. And again, you can look at every bit of this we are going over today at Back on Track Indiana, and we encourage everybody to do that. To read through this yourself and
and to make it simple. And like I said, I'll put the PDF and on the video below and that infographic, so then you can easily click and take a look at what those things are, because like I said, it's really informative and it makes it a lot easier to understand. Right. Here's a chart, here's what's open, here's what capacity, and it's very simple, almost like kind of like a gas tank full or empty, and it made it a lot easier to understand. So other than that, I don't have anything else, Mayor, except I am quite excited.
I am too. This
is great. I mean, this is
news. It was
great news.
We've just got to continue to do what we're doing and to make sure that these numbers don't go up and we're on the road to
We're back on the train's back on the track, baby.
on track and moving forward. So
But we still have to, Mayor, you mind?
keep your distance.
Have a good one.